I thought it was a huge win for our guys. You know, we talked to them about answering the bell after big win at Auburn. You could kind of human nature to have a letdown possibly. Thought we needed to avoid that. Thought we came out of the gate maybe a tad sluggish, but we picked it up there in the first half and then got ourselves a lead. I thought Reese's shooting in the first half really helped us out. And then we came out of halftime. I challenged JP, or like, let's really pick this thing up. Like, we got to get some more rebounds, energy to fight. I thought he was great. He's coachable, great guy to coach. He just basically said, yeah, you're right. Let's get this thing going in the second half. And he got it going in the second half. Our defensive efficiency was much better in the second half than the first half, which we've had an issue with that in the past, where our defense kind of takes a step back in the second half, and today it took a step up. So to play a team that's as good as Missouri, and I think, you know, you look at them, they're 31 of 31 at the free throw line. That shows you they were focused, ready to play. And this is a team that, when they've been focused, ready to play, just smash Florida. So, you know, shoot 31 out of 31 on the line, we still won by 14. We had to be doing a lot of good things.
Take questions for the student athletes first. We'll start on the right with Alex. For both players, Nate has talked, especially the last couple games, that he wanted to see more shooting, more effort from three. How that wasn't quite what the offense is made to do, you know, going inside as much. Do you feel like you answered that with 39 threes today?
Yeah, I feel like that. You know, he always just expressed to us, you know, you play hard, everything will come together, like shooting, you know, just worry about the blue-collar things that we instill into our system. So, yeah, I feel like playing hard does factor into a lot of shot making and at the rim finishing.
Yeah, I feel like we did a good job rebounding today, getting the ball out, getting to our offense, the way we play. So getting threes up is what we do. So the last few games we haven't been getting as many attempts, but just playing hard, doing blue-collar things helps us get in rhythm and get those attempts and makes in.
This is for both guys. Beetle fouled out with about 9 minutes to go. Kyra had 4. So you guys had to kind of manage the foul trouble. How were you able to do that and yet still do a nice job defensively on Missouri?
I think that's just the maturity in our group with Kyra, you know, growing up and maturing into a better player, knowing that he has to play hard still but also play smart. So I feel like he did a great job, and we also did a good job with helping him, you know, helping him on the drive so he won't get cheap fouls, or, you know, switching out on screens that we know he was late on so he won't have to late contest and get a foul. So I feel like that's just the maturity level of our team.
Most definitely. I feel like we're maturing with every game. We had guys playing with 4 fouls, 3 fouls, but every time down the floor after a make, we're talking to each other, trying to get kills, 3 stops in a row to end out the game and win it.
John, the 3 to put to extend the lead to 82 to 72, or 80 to 72, 4 minutes left in the game, top of the arc. Just take me through that 3, and how big was that for you guys?
It was a big 3. It really is just, you know, Coach gives us green light to shoot threes in transition if you open. So I really just walked up. I seen his feet inside the three-point line, and I shot it with confidence. He told us every time you open, you shoot with confidence, and I feel like that's what all our players does, and sometimes we tend to hit.
Last question for student athletes, Alex. For both guys, you know, you can see the frustrations out there, especially in the second half. I know you probably don't want to talk too much about officiating, but was it difficult out there, just the sheer number of fouls being called, the way some of the fouls that were called with the charges or non-charges, that kind of thing?
I mean, it just comes back to controlling what you can control. Talk about it at practice, talk about it in games. We're going to face adversity at home or when we're away, so we just control what we control, stay level-headed, and try to finish out the game.
Yeah, like what Shaq said, you only can control what you can control, and you can't control the refs. So we just did the best we can just to close the game out, and that's what we did.
All right, that's good. Thank you. Go ahead and take questions for Coach Oats at this time. We'll start with Cecil on the back left. All the way back left.
Coach, I've got 2. First, you got in a situation where Beatles probably not 100%. He fouls out with
10 minutes to go, 9 and some change.
9 and some change to go. You got to make a decision whether to play with Herb for a while, keep, because Kyra's got 4. What went into managing that situation?
I mean, as much as I could, you hate to go offense, defense at 9 minutes, 10 minutes to go in the game, but, we also had a lead at the point. I knew Carr's obviously by far and away our best option there, but Herb could do it. I think Herb only had 3 fouls at the time, if I remember correct, so let Herb handle it for a few minutes while we got Carr out. And when, I think they either cut the lead or Herb, might have been when Herb picked up his foul, I can't remember. I think we got Carr back in with maybe 6 minutes to go or whatever it was. We went a few minutes there without him. And then, Carr's not one that typically picks up a lot of fouls. So he's, I was hoping he could finish the game the last 6, 7 minutes, whatever I put him in with. I can't even remember, to be honest with you, without picking that 5th one up. And he was smart, stayed down. They do a really good job driving it, shot fake, step through, and he got the one doing that. So that made you a little nervous. But he had some maturity about him, played with 4 fouls, pretty smart.
And the other one is, was Coach Hodgson in charge of free throw defense tonight, or was it referee relations?
Yeah, I think Brian was in charge of referee relations. He's always the peacemaker there. So apparently I need more peacemakers. But yeah, I'll put him in charge of free throw defense as well, because that's not going very well right now.
Nate, I got 2 as well. It's clear you guys do what you do on offense, but it's interesting to watch all the different ways teams are trying to defend you now. So do you adjust in the game offensively based on how the other team's trying to guard you?
Yeah, we have to. And that was on us. We didn't do a very good job attacking the switches. They literally just started playing small with Reese in and switching everything, which on the other end, Reese has a hard time sometimes with smalls. So, it's like, do we play offense or defense? So I thought, we played with G and JD, and you'd like to get those guys more minutes, but with the way they were guarding us, we kind of really had to just go with one of those 3 at a time. So offensively, that gave Forbes more minutes, and he hit the 1-3, which is big. Would have been nice if he would have hit a few more, but he's coming around. He's had a great attitude. Beetle was injured. I didn't think he was going to be able to play in the second half. His back's locked up at halftime. They told me they couldn't get it to unlock. Eventually they did. Came back, told me he's ready to go, put him in, and he ends up fouling out quick. So with the way that they played us, and, it kind of challenged our depth a little bit with playing Reese, Javian, and G. Really, you're only playing one of those 3 at a time. So, we talk a lot about, I've got 4 guys on staff that me and 4 of them sit down and go through all offense. Like, we scout the other team's defense as well as we scout the other team's offense, and we try to predict how they're going to guard us. Sometimes we do a better job of it than others, and we got to do a little bit better job attacking and switching when they do that with Reese.
Secondly, a lot about the free throw shooting. Have you ever been in a game where either your team or the other team went 31 for 31?
No, it's crazy. I asked our guys that. I don't know if anybody in the country shot over 30 free throws and gone 100% this year. My guess would be no. That's a pretty crazy stat. Might be the best free throw shooting in the history of the NCAA. I can't imagine much better than that. It's an SEC record? Yeah, for us to still win by 14 when they set an SEC record for number of free throws made at 100%, that speaks a lot to what else we were doing well, because we didn't do a very good job keeping them off the free throw line well.
You kind of spoke about this after the Kentucky game, but you didn't necessarily shoot the ball well from 3, even though you did shoot 39 three-pointers. Is it positive to know that you can win games like this now, by double-digit points even, without shooting lights out from 3? Yeah,
it is. 13 to 39 is not great, but it's not bad. You're making a third of them. Make a third of your threes, and you're at 1.0 points of possession. You get a few more rebounds. It's a lot easier to rebound threes than it is some twos that are long rebounds. You chase them down. You add the rebounds in. You're probably a lot closer to 1.1. Our defense was a .99 today, so, you win the game doing that. So it also spreads them out a lot more and opens up more driving lanes. So it all depends. Now, again, they were switching. Switching takes away threes a lot, but it also puts your big on Kyra. So, you look, Kyra ends up with 7 assists, so they want to switch their 5-man onto Kyra. Kyra's going to get in the lane, then you get spray out threes. So their switching took away the threes for Reese, but they didn't take away the threes on the kickouts after Kyra gets in the lane and is able to kick the ball, and we get into our drive and kick game. So it works in some ways and it doesn't in others. And, I thought it's a different way. It worked pretty well for them for a long time, though, so I give them credit on their plan coming into the game.
Coach, I'm going to 2 questions again.
Is there a limit as to how many questions one guy can ask or not? I'm just kidding.
You're fine. I did once, kind of like I asked the players, you even pointed out yesterday that you wanted to see more shots attempted and more shots taken. Do you feel season high 39 kind of answered what you wanted?
Yeah, I do. I mean, again, the game dictates it, but I don't want us passing up kick out threes to shoot contested off the dribble stuff. So there was a few that I thought we probably shouldn't have taken, but I don't want to be the guy that overcoaches shot selection all the time. You overcoach shot selection, and they're looking to the bench on every shot. They're not going to shoot that well. If basically, I tell them, like, if you feel like you're open, shoot it. So some guys, Reese, I mean, guy may be up on him, but he's 6'10". He shoots it over the top. Like, he's what may be contested for Beatles, not going to be contested for maybe JP or Reese. I mean, he gets up. So I like to give our guys a lot of freedom that way. There was a few tonight that I'll probably individually just talk through with them. Like, look, the lane was open. They're closing hard. Let's attack. Get yourself to the free throw line or get a kick out for a teammate. But there wasn't many of those. So, maybe we should have shot 35, but 39 is a lot better than 21. Like, we tend to play a lot better when we get, mid-30s rather than low 20s. So,
And just quickly, you do preach the physical play, the taking of charges and stuff. Several times those led to foul calls. I guess how difficult is it to kind of get the players to play that way when some of the calls maybe aren't falling your way?
look, we're going to control. We can control like the players talked about, which is great. And we're going to continue to take charges no matter how they're called. Just put the onus on the referee and hope that you get enough of them called right. And, the one, Forbes took the one, his feet were definitely in the charge circle. So I just told him, you got to get out, you got to get there quicker, and you got to get all the way out. So, sometimes you got to adjust the way you're doing it. I think Beetle was falling early on one, so he's got to stay in there and take it, not fall early. But, we'll show the video to our guys on the ones that we felt like they were wrong. We'd show a lot of video, and if there's definitely ones that they were fouling, we got to get better at it and quit fouling as much.
Coach, I was going to ask if who were on the hard hat, and Herbert Jones, he played with 4 fouls. Good, he got a huge charge taken with under 2 minutes to go. He ends up with three steals and a block, and then another double-double.
Yeah, I mean, Herb playing with the 4 was huge. The fact that he had enough confidence that if he took up, he took the charge, they called it charge, which is great. That was a good call. And Herb did win the hard hat. I mean, it was by a mile. I think he had 39 points, which is over a third of the team's total points today. So, I mean, he's just so long and athletic and plays so hard and so tough that he's going to end up with, it's going to be hard for somebody to beat him on that when he's not in foul trouble. But we're going to challenge some other guys to go ahead and try to win that thing and beat him on a few games at least.
Missouri shot 31 free throws, but only 21 were in the first half. It seemed like you had a little trouble defending off the drive. What adjustments did you make at halftime?
Well, we tried to change our ball screen coverage up a little bit so that Reese wasn't ending up on guard. Sometimes they ended up in a switch too often. We don't want that. Some of it was guys just need to sit down and guard. Like, we just need to give a better effort. Like, get in a stance, move your feet, and sit down and guard them. So, I mean, there wasn't a huge adjustments defensively other than we changed some of the ball screens. And really it was more, let's make sure that there's a guy Alex can guard in the game when he's in there. So, we tried to do a better job of that in the second half, which is why he probably didn't play quite as many minutes in the second half.
Yeah, real quickly about Jaden Shackelford, who seemed to take a lot of contact today, take the ball to the hoop. How's he progressing offensively?
You know what? I think he's coming around. I think he's starting to figure out what a good shot is, what a not. Took the one pull-up that I thought he should have probably hit Reese trailing. Reese said he didn't tell him, so Reese needs to tell him he's trailing to hit him. But he's attacking the rim better, and he's finishing at the rim. And he's one that we went through video of the Kentucky game. Like, he's got it. We want him to shoot at the rim, too. Sometimes when he had been driving, he's taking them like maybe 6 to 9 feet, some of those runners. And we'd rather have him, shoot. He's been in the weight room his whole life, it seems. He's put together for a freshman. Like, let's use it. Like, guys that weigh $150 or $60 shoot those floaters. Guys that weigh 195, put their shoulder into the guy and go finish like a man, and I think he's done a little bit better job doing that here lately. All right, thanks.